Welcome back to the Toyota Solutions Studio. We are talking about money. Yes, money with Laura Wasser. She is a family law attorney. She is also the founder of an online divorce site. Yes, you too can get a divorce online. The company is called It's Over Easy. The website is itsovereasy.com. Laura, thank you so much for being with us. This is actually like a huge buzzy topic right now, I feel like. Not online divorce, we can get into that later. But money and women and financial literacy and like this acknowledgement that a lot of women, especially in older generations, have left all the financial decisions to men.
Yes. And as a family law attorney, what I see often is women who come in and say, I don't even know how to start. I'm so embarrassed. I know nothing about our finances. These are women who range from super, super sophisticated and wealthy women to people who may not have a lot of money at all. Both ends of that spectrum you would think would be paying a little bit more attention. But I find that money is not, certainly not sexy, and it's also not comfortable to talk about, and people don't.
Let's get into that a little, because that's really interesting. I think culturally, I come from a culture where we talk a lot about money, and you know, you go and your aunt's immediately like, what are you making these days? But I feel like there's a lot of, you know, American culture in general where it sort of stigmatizes, sort of like de class to talk about money.
Yes,
right?
And that even makes its way into personal relationships. So when I speak with couples that are about to get married about getting a prenuptial agreement, they say, oh, I couldn't possibly talk about that. Or I know exactly what I want to agree to, but I have no way of how to bring it up. People don't like talking about it, and I think whether you have a prenup or not, if you're going to get into a personal relationship with someone, living together, getting married, deciding to have children, you must talk about money. You must talk not only about what do you make, how much should we put aside, what are your thoughts on investing? Do you want to be more conservative or not? When do you want to retire? If my parents need to come live with us when they're older, is that okay, or should we put some money aside to put them in assisted living? These are conversations nobody wants to have, but you need to have them, and if you do, you'll stay together longer, I believe.
Absolutely. You know, it occurs to me that women in the world, so much of what we're talking about is social entrepreneurship, and there are a lot of women here that are involved in startups.
Yes, they've come up to me today, and I'm like, oh my goodness,
really?
Congratulations.
Do they ever ask you for advice? Because obviously they are fundraising in some cases. Many of them are nonprofits, and many of them don't seem all that motivated by the profit motive.
Right, which is so interesting. I do find that there's a younger generation that really wants to just help out, which I think is fantastic.
Right, but money is power.
Yes.
In our society.
Yes, to a certain extent. Now also information is power. So again, if you have both, or if you can trade on one for the other, that might help, which may be what's motivating some of these young women who are starting the nonprofits.
Well, I think it's why you're such an important voice here, is to sort of balance out the idealism that we have in spades, and I think is wonderful because it's leading to real social change, is to deal with some of the pragmatic issues when you are starting a business.
Yes.
So if one is just completely clueless about this stuff, where do they start to get a handle on their finances?
Well, it's interesting, and again, going back to the online divorce website, we really took it down to its simplest, because the cases that we do at my firm are very kind of complex litigation. The simplest way of doing it is to figure out what you earn, what you spend, what you have, and what you owe.
And everyone should do that, whether you're getting a divorce or not. Is that what you're saying?
I think so, because then you've really, that's the whole picture. Here's what we have. We don't know what it's worth, but maybe we'll get it valued. Here's what we owe, student debt, mortgage, etc. Here's what we earn, and here's what we spend, which sometimes the spending is more than the earning. And really, really budget out. If you have those four corners, you've got a good idea of your financial situation, and I would check in once a year to do that.
Okay, what would you do if you had a daughter and you just wanted to make sure she was growing up in an environment where she immediately understood, you know, personal, fiscal responsibility, how to invest, how to save?
Well, I don't have a daughter, I have two sons, and I'm treating them the same way that I would, which is really because we live in a community that may not have as much fiscal responsibility. We definitely deal with money, talk about money, and it's interesting, you can't even get a like a debit card for a kid that's under 13 years old. And so I figured out a way. My son's turning 13, but in terms of allowance, having a kind of a system of reward for doing certain things around the house, and then budgeting so that he can figure out what he wants to. There's always a new skateboard or a Bape or Supreme shirt. You got to save for those things, and then when he gets them, they're much more valuable to him.
I'm gonna have to look up like several of the things that you just described about your son.
The skate company, street stuff.
How did you get the sensibility?
My parents gave it to me. We grew up, my parents moved in 1976 to Beverly Hills because they had an amazing education system. So it was save the extra money per year to go to public school in Beverly Hills but pay more for the house, or send the kids to private school. So they moved, and they were really young for parents, and they kind of scraped by, but they always let us know, we're living here because of this. And they instilled a sense of money in me that's, some of my friends say I have a depression mentality because I save.
I do that too. I saved like half of an apple that I had eaten the other day.
I'm that way. I don't know where it came from.
Like I put it in a plastic baggie and put it in the fridge and ate it the next morning. Forgive me if this is out of left field, but a lot of what we have been talking about here on this stage is female empowerment, right? And also the Me Too movement, and you know, how like women have been sexually harassed in different workplaces and all of that. It occurs to me that part of the solution as well is just having more women who are creating a lot of monetary value for society. Do you think that the Me Too movement will lead to women feeling like they can just boldly say, you know what, I do want to make money.
Right.
I mean,
I hope so.
I mean, I think it would be great if that was social change as well and it was ethical, but it's okay, right, for women to be out there and say, you know what, that's what motivates me, because men do it all the time.
Right. So why wouldn't it be okay? I hope it is. I think it is. I feel like that would be the good direction that the Me Too movement goes in. I wasn't personally touched legally, literally or figuratively in that way.
Yeah.
But I will say this, when I've been talking about it, because obviously it's been a subject, people have said, well, that would never happen to you. And I believe that's true, and here's why. Because I was raised in an empowered way. I mean, obviously something horrible like rape could happen to anybody, but the people who feel like they're victims going into a certain situation, we're raising daughters now that would never ever get to that point in terms of, and we're having conversations about pay me the same amount or I'll do this, don't speak to me or I'll do this. People that are actually putting out there what's important to them.
You've been in the legal field for your entire career.
Yes.
You never faced a patriarchy or any of those barriers?
Well, I faced a patriarchy, but it was a nepotism patriarchy because I went to work for my father when I got out of school. So I'm not quite sure where the line is drawn on that one, but there's no question that
he promoted his own daughter.
Exactly, so that's what I'm saying. I couldn't really call it patriarchy, I have to call it nepotism. But yes, I mean, I'm in a field where there's lots of older men that always worked, and what I would do is kind of use it to my advantage. When they'd say, oh, honey, you're so cute, I saw you when you were 16, I'd say, that's great. And when they're out golfing, I'm preparing my briefs, and when we get to counsel table, they often will underestimate a younger woman. So I did use that a lot coming up.
And then you kill it.
And then
with
I
preparation.
crush it, absolutely.
It's Over Easy?
Yes.
Is that a company you started?
Yes,
okay.
We started It's Over Easy because really wanted to bring an experience, twofold. One, so that I could represent anybody, not me, but that we're bringing it to the people, so to speak, because our clients are very wealthy. And there were so many people every year that would come and say, can you help my sister? Can you help my nanny's brother? Can you help my so-and-so? And I would like to help more people because it's a horrible time, but they couldn't afford it,
right.
Okay? So we do pro bono work, but this is really a simpler right. The other reason we brought it up is we want to change the face of divorce. That's another subject that's always been in the United States very taboo. We don't talk about money, and we don't talk about divorce. And so I want to make it so that people can talk about it, they can get information about it, they can get referrals and support about it. So in addition to having this platform where you can go online and at your house without going to a lawyer, office, to courtroom, paying different people, you can go online with your spouse and get into a mediation online with your spouse and have it all done for a very low price. But on both sides of it, tons of content talking about divorce, people's experiences, blogs, etc.
And that part of it is available to everybody.
Yes,
I understand
everybody.
the sort of mediation, legal part of it is only available in
California and New York
and New York
right now. We're doing a fundraise so that we can come to your state soon.
So you're an entrepreneur as well.
A little bit, yes.
Is it your first big venture on your own?
Yes.
And
Yes.
how have you found that so far?
I'm
New
so
challenge?
excited about it. New challenge, very interesting, really getting to a greater socioeconomic kind of a group, talking to more people, because everybody has somebody that was touched by divorce, and they want to talk about it. They want to talk about their experiences, their parents' experiences, their cousins' experiences. And on the other side of the platform, there's this amazing provider directory. So we're providing assistance with finding support for people going through the process. Anybody from somebody to do your taxes now that you're divorced or help you budget, so all these great financial planning women that I've met today, to somebody to give you a great spray tan when you're about to get into the dating world again. Anybody that could help you through this process.
That's a resource on It's Over Easy.
Yes.
Just to sort of close, you know, I have been seeing a lot of this trend toward financial products catered to women. Do you have an opinion on that? I mean, do we need financial products and services catered specifically to women?
I don't know that we need it, but some women may appreciate it more. It really depends, and I'm glad it's available, because just like for all those years there were so many things that only men had access to, give us a few. If we decide to pick the completely, neutral one, we will. But if there's women that are sitting out there going, this is catered to me and I really want something like that, then we should make that available as well.
Laura Wasser, it was a pleasure meeting you. Thank you so
too.
much for joining us in
Thank
the
you for
Solutions
having me.
Studio.